Baltimore, Justin Forsett.
This is Forsett breaking free. And a good run for Justin Forsett into the clear.
Who is Justin Forsett?
He's the man right now.
He is the man.
Flacco hands it off to Forsett, right side. He's to the 5. He's in. Touchdown. Justin
What's up,
Forsett.
everyone? I'm Joe Lemon, and thank you so much for tuning into the Real Value Exchange. So, as you can tell from the highlight reel that we just got done running, if you're watching on the YouTube, thank you so much for subscribing and liking. We got a great guest for you today. We got Justin Forsett, former NFL Pro Bowler, now turned executive. And so he's the co-founder of the Clean Hustle brand, a disposable cleaning line that they're inside Walmart, they're inside Target. And we get into his whole journey, right? Because he started off in the actual 7th round. So as people that know football, it's the very last round that you can't be drafted, turned Pro Bowler. And now he's looking to do this, to apply the same mentality that he allowed him to excel in the pros to the business world. So there's going to be just a ton of energy here and a lot of good insight about how you can do the same for your own career. So with that said, let's get into today's conversation with Justin Forsett. Rose Bowl this morning, actually.
Oh, really?
Trying to see if I can get right, bro. You know what I mean?
It still got that new year, new me vibe going on right now. So,
hey, man.
I'm all right as well.
Hey, man. Well, what's funny, man, is that back in the day, I used to work in all these gyms coming up, and I remember January 1st, hot out the gate, it was packed. You know what I mean? Everybody was in there busting down the door. Coming around February, people was trying to stay in it, but they was limping in. Around March, that cats is gone.
Facts.
I mean, man, so, everything I'm trying to do is just trying to be consistent, bro. Just trying to stay in the game, you know what I mean? Because it is one of those day in, day out things.
For sure.
But dude, man, look, man, I'm really excited to have you on the show, man. Justin Forsett, NFL Pro Bowler, man. Man, you just got a dope story, bro, because you came from a 7th round draft pick and then came up, which is fly. And used to beat up on my boys. I'm from Pittsburgh originally.
Oh.
And so used to give us hell back in the day, man, which is, I don't want to talk about those days. That's for the past. But what you're up to right now, man, is super, super official, man. I had the privilege just to kind of jump on to your actual New Year's Eve party, man. With
really?
Yes, yeah, man. Marshawn Lynch and Lecrae was there, so it was just a really good turnout. I was a little bit late. I didn't catch everybody. I was trying to build some actual baby strollers. I got a baby on the way, so.
Congrats.
Appreciate that, brother. But what I did see was definitely inspiring, man. So welcome on to the podcast.
Oh man, pleasure to be here. Appreciate you.
Well, and man, you know what? First and foremost, big ups to you guys getting into Walmart and Target for your actual brand, man. Talk about that whole experience, man. How was that process and everything?
Man, it's been crazy. Just be blessed with the opportunity to partner with the major retailers within the country. This is our 2nd year, going on our year 3 with Target, and we started off under just a product that we had. It was called ShowerPill at the time, and it was just really functional. And we were blessed to get in to Target. And the way we got in was, I go to every Super Bowl because I'm promoting something, I'm doing events or whatnot, and I wasn't going to go to the Super Bowl in 2018 because it was in Minneapolis, and who wants to be in Minneapolis in February? No disrespect to anybody up in Minneapolis, but the NFL Players Association put out an email saying they're going to give a business tour of Target at the Super Bowl. So I was like, man, I had it written down, I got to get to this. I want to get into Target in 2018.
That's the headquarters too, I think, right?
Yep, it's the headquarters. Headquarters up in Minneapolis. So I went up there. The tour was definitely not for pitching. I did a scouting report, who was going to be in the room, from the CEO Brian Cornell all the way down to the buyers and the merchandisers that was going to be in the room. And I took my backpack and I had product in there. So I waited till after the tour was done, and I just gave my elevator pitch to anybody that was in power and influence within Target. And about 4 months later, I was in 150 stores. About 3 months after that, we were in all 1,800 stores across the country. So that's how we got into Target, and that really built up momentum for us to get even in a conversation with Walmart at the end of last year, and we're in 4,100 of the 4,500 stores.
Love that, man. I mean, because I mean, honestly, I have a little bit of experience working with different type of retailers, and I definitely would say this that how you did it was obviously official. You kind of did your homework, scouted the people out, figured out who the right players were, and then you brought the pitch. Once it was time. You know what I mean? I think a lot of times people kind of jump out the gate and they just start pitching everybody.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But like it makes sense to figure out who's who first before you just start, trying to gun everybody down with your actual, presentation.
Man, the one thing that I learned about being an entrepreneur is that, man, your time is the most valuable thing that you have. So don't waste it. And, I think early on within my, journey as an entrepreneur, I was wasting time talking to the wrong people, pitching when I wasn't ready to really pitch and have something that was ready to be out there. And so I just kind of learned over the time that I've been on this path. And that was one of the things I picked up, man. You just got to make sure that you're using your time wisely, talking to the right people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, like, yeah, I got some more stories about that, but different times, man. I mean, man, you know what? So I was working out this morning and listening to Lecrae's latest album, and he has this line in there where literally he was talking about, we got to be more than just a whole bunch of cells on the actual cell phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really wanted to kind of throw this back to you because obviously I would imagine that you probably listen to, a couple of his tracks as well, man. I mean, like, what's really driving you right now? Like, who or what, I should say, is really pushing you to kind of just not kick back? I mean, I could imagine after playing ball for so while, you could just stop. You could just hang out, go back to Texas, relax, you know what I mean? Throw your feet up, But why get into clean hustle? Like, what's the real kind of driving push behind it, bro?
Yeah, man, it is, for me, I want to be great, man. I want to leave an impact and a legacy. When I'm dead and gone, we only got a little bit of time here on earth and I want to make the most of it. I think for me, I've always had passion to not be placed in a box. And I always say boxes are for things, not people. So when I was a football player, I didn't want to be confined to that. So I didn't just want to be an all-pro running back. I wanted to be an all-pro husband. I want to be an all-pro father. I want to be an all-pro businessman. So my pursuit, like the greatness I'm going after, is not compartmentalized. Like, it's not okay for me to be a great football player and a trash husband. Like, it's not okay for me to be a great, businessman, and a trash father. So, like, I just want every part of my life, it should be at a standard, like, of excellency. So, I may not be there in all areas, but the pursuit is there, and I'm trying to get better each and every day. So when I hung up the cleats, when the football was done, that next passion, that next drive kicked in. Like, man, I got to be, all-pro entrepreneur. I'm an all-pro businessman and have an impact doing it.
Fire, bro. Yeah, you know what, man? ET always says like this, you got to be triple-double. And, like, that's, I believe in that the most, too. I mean, I believe in being great at business. I believe in being great at home because, first off, if you're not great at the crib, like, how are you going to translate that properly into being a great leader? You know what I mean? And one of the things that I've definitely noticed about your career, man, is that you were all about servant leadership, bro. Like, I mean, even once you played, I mean, you were doing things with you and Marshawn, did some stuff up in Flint, Michigan. I mean, so you've been like about doing some service work the whole time. I mean, like, how does that kind of help you in like business right now, bro? Like, I'm just kind of having that as like a foundation, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, it just comes from my faith. Like, I believe that I was, created for a reason and a purpose, and I'm here for impact and not just to consume. Mm-hmm. And like, I want to make a difference in people's lives. Like, it doesn't, and it's crazy because I'm reading this book right now, A Month to Live, and like, how would you live your life if you only had 30 days left? And just making the most out of that time. And I want to make sure that at the end of the day, I'm investing in those things that matter the most: relationships, impacting people's lives in a positive way. It's not about the houses and the cars. It's not about any of those things that, will fade away. When I'm on my deathbed, I want people to know that, man, this was a good man. This is a guy that lived a life full of value and impact. So that's kind of what the drive is. So even in my business, and I tell the team, and me and my business partner tell the team every week, it's like, man, if we just pursue the mission, which is, unlocking the inner greatness of all of our community, like they're, unlocking them and moving any barriers for them to pursue their greatness every day. if we can do that, if we just focus on that, all the other stuff that we desire will come. But if we got to stay focused on the mission. If we lose that, we lose everything.
That's real, bro. That's real, man. You know what, man? And man, I got some conversations about that too, because like knowing that you were picked in the 7th round, right? Like, and then you became a Pro Bowler. Most people that are picked that late in the game, they maybe give them, a very short period of time in the league, but you obviously did your thing and you did it at a very high level, at the highest, level of playing ball. Like, what were some of those disciplines that you had to develop to really kind of, keep you, quote unquote, coming in as an underdog or later in the actual draft to actually excelling? Because I really want the audience to kind of hear this, not because we're athletes, but because we're trying to excel in our actual sports as well. So are there any things that maybe like any type of disciplines or any type of character traits that you had to really build up along the way to kind of get you there?
Yeah, for sure. So one, I mean, there's no substitute for hard work. So working hard. I mean, I was a 5'8", 195-pound, 198-pound running back. So I've always had to work a little bit more than my competition. And so that work ethic really helped me stand out. So, when I would get a run, like every other running back, they would run 20 yards down the field. I'm taking it all the way to the house. I'm taking it to the end zone. No matter if we're starting at the opposite 10-yard line, I'm taking it all the way to the end zone.
Wow.
Those traits right there really helped me. And being consistent, like, it's one thing to have one good run or one good play or one good game or one good year. It's about consistency. Can you keep doing that day in and day out, year after year, and string wins together? Like, it's like it is about enduring, and being consistent. And when you're facing adversity and you're facing struggle, to keep pushing. And that really helped. That consistency, commitment, that discipline, that work ethic allowed me to stay, 9.
Yeah, man. I mean, man, I'm in sales mainly, right? And, people a lot of times talk about trying to land that one big deal. And I'm like, one big deal? Like, nah, this is what we do. like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, we're going to show up tomorrow too. Like, it's going to be the same energy, you know what I mean? And look, I'll be the first to say it's not easy. It's not easy to kind of keep that, like, one day you have a great day and you're coming in hot, everything worked out smooth. And then the next day you get your trials, right? Could be household stuff, could be anything, things going on all across the globe. Like, I mean, any tips and tricks or any things that you have done to kind of get you from one failure to the next, and then, at least keeping that same energy, man, and momentum?
Man, I faced so many different adversities and battles. I've been labeled limited, placed in boxes my whole life. People tell me what I could and couldn't do. And for me, it's as simple as excelling at what you can control. Like, there's so much out of our control that those things that we do control, like, we just have to excel at them, like attitude, effort, preparation. Like, sometimes you're going to be able to close that deal and make that sale. Sometimes you're not, and it has nothing to do with you. Like, you did, like, you had the right pitch, you had the right game, you made the right steps, but for whatever reason outside of your control, it just didn't happen. And that's okay. Like, you learn from that experience and you grow. For me, being knocked down, so many times and facing rejection, I just really knew that, man, you just have to excel at what you can control and don't worry about the rest. I believe there's so much beauty though in the brokenness if we have the right perspective. I think that if we treat those L's, those times when we're knocked down, as points of like growth and points of like, we're not allowing those adversities to define us, but refine us. Like, we won't allow those things to be to imprison us, but to be schools to allow us to learn and grow. And because everybody wants to break through, but nobody wants to be broken. And I think that there's so much that we get from that brokenness. Like, I wouldn't be the man I am today without being those moments of me falling on my face or being rejected or having those adversities.
Bro, like, I think having these conversations is more important than ever right now. Like, just talking about that, because, it's trying times out there. It's a really rough ecosystem for a lot of businesses. Some are thriving, but a lot of people are really suffering throughout this space, right? And so, I think if we can kind of view this as a straight opportunity, as you're kind of speaking about it, like, all right, this is going to make me stronger. This is going to make me better. Because last year was definitely tough for me in my business, right? You know, lost some money with it. But I was like, okay, that made me sharper for this year. I'm coming out strong. I know what time it is, right? And yeah. So I think that's spot on. And one of the things me and my boys always talk about, and I'm really torn on this too. I don't really have a biased way on this type of thought. It's around competition though. And how do you have healthy competition? Because at times you do want to compete versus the person that's in the boardroom with you. Like, I'm about to go in here and get this deal done. You know what I mean? If it's me versus the other brand, I'm coming in and I'm walking away with the POs. That's, you know what I mean? Like, you want to have that type of mentality, but I can also see how you want to keep it just within yourself, where it's a you versus you thing. You know what I mean? Where like, you know, whatever happens to them, but I'm just going to come out and be my best. But if I'm being real, I try to leverage both, but man, I'm sharper whenever I kind of go versus somebody else. I can't even lie, man. Like, whenever I kind of lock on somebody else, I get sharper, man. Like, you got any thoughts on that, man? You got any input?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm more of like, I'm challenging myself. I'm competing against myself. And I do compete. Like, I see the outward competition, and I think it's helpful to have that. But the problem that I see with this, with the outward competition, and saying like, I'm gonna just go against this guy, is that it's situational, and it can be temporary, right? It is something that, like, once I get done with this guy, then, okay, like, what's next? Like, for me, again, if I'm challenging myself, like, the bar and the standard is set. Like, I know what I want to be at the end of the day, and it has nothing to do with this guy. If I focus on myself, if I focus on like trying to get better myself, like, I don't have time to get distracted by, okay, if this guy, he may have, some advantages, he may be better at certain things than me. Like, okay, that's cool. And, I can compete against him, or I can compete against myself, and realize even if I win or lose against this guy, that I push myself to the limit, and I got better from, that competition. And I've been in, like, all my running back experience since I got into college. I had competition: Marshawn Lynch, Maurice Jones-Drew in Jacksonville. I had Edgerrin James. I had Joseph Adai. I had Arian Foster, Ben Tate. I'm trying to think of some other guys. Race. I had just a number of amazing athletes, all-star, caliber players, Hall of Fame people. And, here comes this, this 2-star recruit out of a town of 3,000 people, coming in to compete, So, for me, I could worry about, man, that guy, he faster than me, he bigger than me. He has more accolades than me, but, like, those things I took on a case by case, but it was more about me just getting better and challenging myself every day.
Man. So, I mean, obviously I can imagine going versus those greats, man, because you obviously named a couple of legends in there, bro. Like, I mean, like, how do you guys maintain that, like, healthy competition on and off the field? Like, obviously, as you guys are trying to compete for that number one spot, I mean, you guys both want to get the number one ticket, I would imagine. So, like, how do you guys keep that, camaraderie, but still iron sharpens iron mentality?
No, and I just want to make it clear that I believed I was the best everywhere I went. Like, that was the mindset. I don't care who it was. Like, the competition, like, was real. Like, I'm not taking away any of that tenacity or the ferocity that you need in order to achieve greatness. Like, I believe that I was the best on that field. Like, if you wanted to win, you better put me in. So that's the mindset. That's the mindset I had. But also knowing, like, man, there is enough for us to eat. Like, it's enough for us to all. And if I'm putting my best foot forward and I'm controlling what I can control, excelling what I can control, they can't deny me from getting. They're gonna have to find and make room for me on that roster. So even though we're going number one spot, it was all love, man. It was like, we're gonna push each other, and the common goal is like, we're gonna try to get a championship. And if we win, then it's gonna bring light on everybody. So, if we lose, it, it's hard to, if you're number one or you two, number three running back. But if you win it, like, that just lifts up the tide for everybody. Everybody gets a little more attention. I think back when I was in college, USC was on their run, and they had people that wasn't even starting that was getting drafted because they were winning. Like, they had a competition at a high level, and it just raised the game of everybody. So guys like Clay Matthews, who didn't even start most of their career, went on to be, a great NFL player and got drafted. And but that's the kind of level. Like me, I was a backup, for most of my college career, and ended up starting once Marshawn left in my senior year, and going and playing 9 years in the NFL because of that competition. So that's how we just kept it. We kept it all up.
Yeah, man. I mean, man. Especially with growing businesses, man. I think that's a struggle for people that are trying to be in the field, right? Because it's very similar. You want to be you want to be the person that's going to be able to handle business the best, and you almost got to view yourself like nobody's better at this than what I'm about to bring to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that you dropped the nugget though that I don't want to just kind of breeze past is that you had clarity about who you wanted to be though. You know what I'm saying? Like you weren't just kind of like, hey, I'm the best at being the best. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure there were a couple bullet points, a couple details behind that. I'm best at blank. You know what I mean? And I think that's really important to kind of catch too, though, bro.
Yeah, no, man. I knew my vision for myself, at an early age, because I faced a lot of adversity. Financially unstable home growing up. My way out was going to be football. Like, my way out was, I was going to leverage this game and this talent that God gave me to go out and make room for my family. And so every step of the way, I was like, man, I want to be, an all-pro running back. I wanted to be, a Heisman Trophy winner. I wanted to be a record-breaking, running back within my school and the teams that I were on. And lastly, I wanted to have impact, so much so that everybody in my mind, and it happened in high school, it clicked for me that everybody I come in contact with, like whether it's a coach or a teacher, I wanted them to feel like, man, this guy is serious, and he is the outlier. He is the guy. Like, I've never seen anybody like him before. So whether it was a strength coach that I had in high school, whether it was a teacher, guidance counselor, principal, I wanted to make sure it's like, oh, this guy, he's a step of the game. Like everybody else has to catch up to him. Like, anybody, that's the standard, that's the mark. So that was kind of what I was really pursuing, and ended up working out for me in the game of football.
Bro, it's dope, man. And as we get ready just to kind of wrap it up, man, that's why we kind of made this whole podcast, man. The whole Real Value Exchange is all about, I believe the biggest thing that we can do is have a positive exchange with another human being, you know what I mean? And then let them impact their whole, world and everything else around them. So everything that you're saying aligns well with what we're up to over here, man. I mean, man, but talk about what's in the future for Clean Hustle, any other, groups that you're working with, nonprofit stuff. I mean, what's going on in your world throughout the rest of this year, man?
Yeah, man, we're growing the brand. We're, like I said, we're in over 4,000 Walmart locations over around the country. We are in 1,800 Targets, growing distribution, increasing the product offering right now. We just have our body wipes and face wipes that are in the marketplace. Got some new products coming, more traditional. And we drive. Our kind of anthem for this year is the tribe wins. So last year we all were individually attacked to some form or some degree. But this year is how we get back up. This is how we respond to adversity. 2021, the tribe wins, the community, the teams, the brands that are together, that have the chemistry, we win. And so just trying to really build that tribe out and that community that resonates with, the people that are real, brave, and relentless.
Oh, boom. I mean, that's a good way to kind of walk into the year, man. I mean, man, well, last thing, are you going to do any more of those events online this year? You got any more Clean Hustle type of gathering spots going on online?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. So we're probably going to have, working on something Black History Month. Okay. For Hustle Cleans, like a summit that we're working on. So we're excited about it, man. Stay tuned for it. I may put something out here in a couple of weeks, but yeah, we're working behind the scenes to have another summit coming up.
Super dope, man. Well, Justin, bro, it was great having you on the show, man. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for just kind of sharing some insights and some tools that people can really do to really try to build up other people, man. It seems like you guys are all about building up other people around you. I didn't really hear too much me conversations in that. It was about the tribe. So much appreciated for this time, brother.
No, thank you, Joe. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
No doubt. We out.